Welcome to the Business Finance Bulletin, episode 154. Welcome again to the latest Business Finance Bulletin with me, Rob Warlow from Business Loan Services, the commercial finance expert. In this bulletin, formation of the Association of Alternative Business Finance, late payment regulations and bank lending to small businesses. Let's start this bulletin with some positive news about the formation of the Association of Alternative Business Finance. Now, as we know, since the credit crunch, there's been a boom in the number of businesses accessing finance via alternative finance providers. And to match that, there's also been an increase in the number of lenders willing to meet that demand. The problem is some of those lenders are regulated and some are not. So it's great to see 7 of the key leading players in this alternative market space getting together to form an association, a self-regulatory body, to really improve the standards within the industry. Now, this new Association of Alternative Business Finance has been founded by 7 key players, and they include Capify, Catalyst Finance, Credit4, Fleximes, Liberus, Just Loans and Yes Growth. So they've now just kicked off at the beginning of February this new association, and it's all wrapped around 4 key principles that they want all members to practice. It includes transparency, responsibility, fairness and security. And one of the first things that these providers want to do is to establish a national database of personal guarantees that directors have entered into. Now, all of these lenders very much rely on personal guarantees, and one concern obviously within the industry is that businesses can get multiple credit from multiple different sources, and all increasing a director's personal liabilities under guarantees. Now, that's a danger not only for the finance industry, but of course also for the individual who's providing these guarantees. It can be too easy to get credit from lots of different places and not realizing the extent of the liability you're building up. So all of these 7 players via their association want to put a database together so they can each check who is borrowing and what their liabilities are under a personal guarantee. A great initiative. So well done to those 7 players for wanting to improve the standards within the industry. And if you want to know more, just go along to their website, which is aabf.co.uk. Let's move on now to more positive news for small businesses, particularly those suffering from late payment. Now, if you're a regular watcher and listener to this bulletin, you know late payment is a regular feature. That's because it's one of the biggest barriers to growth that small businesses face. And it's estimated that at any one time, approximately £26 billion is outstanding in overdue payments. You can imagine how the economy would speed up if all of that money was released into the system. Well, this has been on the government's radar for some time about tackling late payment abuse, and I've reported previously that the government has been putting regulation in place called the duty to report, really to help name and shame the big companies who are habitual late payers. Well, the duty to report regulations have now been released by the government, ready for enactment with effect from the 1st of April. So what does it involve? Well, all large businesses and limited liability partnerships will be obliged to report twice a year on their payment practices and to give an average time of how long it takes them to settle invoices. This will all be out in the public domain, so the larger companies for once will be under scrutiny, and we will be able to see who are the late payment abusers, who are causing cash flow problems for small businesses. I said that's coming out now with effect from the 1st of April 2017, so we're getting a step closer to trying tackling this late payment problem. If you want to know more, keep listening and watching to this bulletin, and when it hits live date and 6 months after, it'll be really interesting to see what that first report reveals. On now to my monthly look at the amount of money that UK banks are lending to businesses and small businesses in particular. Every month the Bank of England reduces the total amount of lending that is currently outstanding to UK businesses, and the figures as at the end of December 2016 have just been released by the Bank of England. They show a trend which is probably going to start coming out more and more during 2017, and that seems to be a slowing down or a sluggish demand from businesses as regards borrowing. The figures at the end of December 2016 show that in that month of December compared to November 2016, the total amount of money currently outstanding was down 2.1 billion. And that's a fall, and it just shows that businesses are beginning to slow down as regards their appetite for borrowing money. Overall, year on year, there's still a 3.6% increase in the total amount of money currently outstanding to all businesses. And what about small businesses? Well, if we strip them out, and a small business by the Bank of England's definition is a business turning over less than £25 million a year. Yeah, that's small. What about them? What exactly are they doing? Well, currently there's £164.6 billion outstanding to small businesses. And in December, that was a fall of 300 million on November. So we can see even on the small business side, there's a little bit of a slowdown in December. Now you can argue that December is a bit of a seasonal period as well, so it'll be interesting to see what happens in January when those figures come out. So perhaps the early warning signs are that confidence levels are slipping a little bit, people being a little bit more cautious when it comes to borrowing money. Let's see how 2017 progresses. Well, that's it for this bulletin, and as ever, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like and a share. It all helps. If you are on the video version, don't forget we've also got the podcast version, which you can download at your leisure, and that's available via iTunes, Stitcher and SoundCloud. All you have to do is go to that channel and search for Business Finance Bulletin. Don't forget, if you ever want to chat through a proposition around borrowing money and you just want to have a bit of a sense check on it, always happy to have a chat. Just drop us an email, info@businessloanservices.co.uk. So that's it for this bulletin. See you next time. Have a great, successful and profitable week. Bye-bye now.